Oh, are we allowed to talk yet? We were just told we weren't allowed to talk, so we didn't know if we are allowed to yet or not. I guess we got the okay now. So
We're okay.
so I'm Joey Powers, one of your hosts of the Best Pictures.
I'm Don Tretler. Welcome to the show. And today we're going to talk about remakes. So we've been talking about this for a couple weeks. We said they've remade a lot of movies.
And remakes and sequels. That's all that Hollywood seems to be doing nowadays. You know, and it's like I mentioned to you off camera, but I've noticed a lot of horror movies are remade. Some
Right.
multiple times. You know, so I mean, some of them are good and some aren't so good.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if what you have as far as a variety a lot. I tried to get as much of a variety as I could. But I also went in a couple different directions as well. Like, I put Baywatch on there. It's not a remake per se, but it was a TV show, and then they made it into a movie.
Right.
Same with the Dukes of Hazzard, which I also put on there that I thought we could talk about because it kind of fits the realm of what we're discussing. You know.
Right.
I don't know. What do you got? I mean, we haven't really.
Well, I kind of came up with two lists. I kind of came up with a list of where good remakes, where they did a good job remaking the movies, and then remakes that were not as good as the originals. And I didn't pick some super bombs, you know. Some of them I think I totally avoided. Like let me throw one out at you. So we're talking about horror movies. I was talking to a guy at work about this, and he brought up the movie The Omen. He goes, they should never remake The Omen. I said,
They already did, yeah.
And I
That was a while ago, actually.
Did you see it?
No,
I haven't seen it.
I saw the original, but
It's got to be horrible.
Oh.
I can't imagine. Why would you want to remake The Omen?
no, that'd be like remaking Rosemary's Baby.
Exactly.
You know, it's like there's certain movies. I mean, I think we kind of hit on this on the show. There's certain movies you can't remake Goodfellas.
And that's going to be next week.
Yes, we're gonna just drive
Movies
Colin
you can't
nuts.
remake.
Yes, because there are definitely certain, like The Godfather. You can't remake The Godfather.
So I didn't look up The Omen, but I can't imagine. I mean, the original Omen has to be in the 7s on IMDb.
I would think so, and I bet the remake was under 6.
Yeah, because I mean, it died a quick death. I don't know why they even bothered to remake it.
It came out on 6/6/06. I remember that. It's Liev Schreiber and Julia Stiles.
Oh,
Were
wow.
the parents. And
That's a pretty decent cast.
yeah, the cast wasn't bad. It just, I don't know, it's just not something I ever really wanted to.
Well, maybe
Wanted
they
to
figure
watch.
that they're going to come out with these remakes where they want to introduce a story into a new generation.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it has to do
Yeah.
with. Maybe they figure, I mean, kids aren't going to go back and watch old movies.
No.
So they'll take the same story and they'll just update it, get a whole new audience,
7.6 for the original.
right?
That's
But
pretty
they-
high for a horror movie, I would say.
Yeah. Cool. I think it's one of the best.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to say less than 6 for the remake.
If you people haven't
Realistically.
seen The Omen, the original
5.5.
one, 5.5.
So, yep, they're both right where we probably both expected, so.
Yeah, there you go. That was one that shouldn't have been remade. They shouldn't have left it alone.
Yeah. Yep, I absolutely agree with that. And that's, I'm kind of wondering because a remake that's coming out this month, or in April, is Pet Sematary. You know?
How good was the original? I mean, to tell you the truth, I can't really remember. I saw it.
I
know the Ramones did the theme song.
was young, like really young, when it came out. And I couldn't sleep for 2 nights. I had to stay up with my light on because I was afraid of what was this? Gage. The little kid coming out of the wall and stabbing his father. It freaked me out. And, you know, admittedly, I was too young probably to watch it, but my parents didn't care and I didn't care. But yeah, it scared the hell out of me. I liked it. I own it. I can watch it, but at the time, it really scared me.
Who's in the new one? Do you know?
I don't. I actually was going to look that up because I'm very curious.
A lot of.
Oh, you know, who is it? It's someone who's in it is pretty famous.
It seems like a lot of these horror movies get remade. Almost all the good ones. I think we'd be hard pressed to find some that haven't been remade.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Even as we're talking about it, you know, to go to Psycho. Psycho, the original Alfred Hitchcock, got. And I'm going by IMDb ratings because IMDb.
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty decent.
Yeah. He's a creepy old man. I think he'll do the part well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't think he's not the main star. I don't know how well you remember it, but like, there's an old guy. I'm assuming that's who he plays. An old guy who warns them of the pet cemetery. It comes out April 5th, so I wonder if Rick's gonna get that, because that's exciting. Because I want to see it.
Oh yeah, that could be. Maybe we'll get it the first weekend here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he got coming. Speaking of which, my first movie on the list, He got It for 3 weeks. He got it opening night, and it's the #1 R-rated horror movie of all time now.
Really?
Domestically grossing, yeah. Did you see the original It, like the 6-hour?
I did. I didn't see the new one. I saw the old one though.
I thought I guess the new one they're making into at least 2, maybe 3.
Oh.
Because it was such a long story, which maybe they should have done in the first one, which would have made it better. Because I didn't like the first one at all, but the first remake, I know there's another one coming out this September. It comes out on my birthday actually, September 8th. The first one was really good. Like, I didn't think the first one, like the original, was even scary.
Huh.
I don't know how well you remember it, or
I don't know. I remember being involved in it. I remember being, to be honest with you, what I remember about it is being let down by the end of the movie. Which I probably shouldn't say what it is in case people haven't seen it.
I just didn't care for it in general.
Yeah.
Like this first reboot here, they're all still kids. You know, it ends with them still being kids.
Right.
So they haven't gotten to the 20 whatever years later.
And they didn't do it as flashbacks.
No. So it's definitely a different take on the story, but I thought it was much better done than the first one. Pennywise is a creepy little bastard. You know, I mean, violent too. The first remake was really, really violent.
Well, yeah, and the first one was made for television.
Right, exactly. So this one definitely is a lot more violent than that one.
And it was done as like a mini series because I remember it was.
It was like
pretty
6.
long.
It was like, wasn't it like 5 or 6 hours? I want to
Yeah.
say it was, and I think that's part of the reason that it turned me off is because for that I feel like you gotta have more action, something, you know, because it seemed almost like a drama horror movie, as opposed to like I just watched the new Halloween movie. That scared the hell out of me.
The new one did.
That was good. It was really good, really violent, and really scary. It went by fast.
Did that do well? Did that get good?
It
good
did well at
ratings?
the box office. I know it did very well at the box office.
It probably did okay. Like I was saying, they've remade almost every horror movie,
yeah.
even Psycho, which got the original Alfred Hitchcock one got 8.5 when they remade it.
This new Halloween got 6.7.
Which is
Which
good.
is not bad.
6.7 is a pretty good write-up.
It is, certainly for a horror movie.
Might even be as good as the old one. Well, the old one people might have rated it higher.
I'm gonna look up the Psycho remake for you.
The Psycho remake got 4.6.
Oh, you looked up on it? Oh, did you see it?
No, it got horrible reviews right
awful.
off the bat. Vince Vaughn.
Terrible. Yeah, I mean, had a good cast, had good actors. It just,
I was intrigued by the idea that they shot it. I was going to say scene by scene, but they like frame by frame. They reshot the thing just like Alfred Hitchcock did, which that intrigued me, that piece right there, because I thought that's a pretty neat idea for a movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it got horrible
oh,
write-ups.
yeah, it was awful. It was just bad.
It's not a movie to be remade.
No.
That would have been one
No.
you'd say, well, keep that off the list.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what else I have for horror movies.
So I just so you know, I would recommend watching it. So I have it if you'd like to borrow it.
The new It. All right.
Yeah. No, it was really good.
If I want to be scared.
Yeah.
I don't want to sleep one night.
I was working at the cafe when it came out, and they had like the red balloon hanging outside the movie theater and
they
everything.
did?
Yeah. So you know, they were all pumped for it. It got well attended.
I know Craig was psyched for it.
Rick was really pleased with the outcome.
Let's see, what other ones do I have on here for horror movies? The Fly, which the remake of it, the 1986 remake with Jeff Goldblum, that got rated higher than the old one did with Vincent Price.
That's surprising that hasn't been remade again, because it's been 33 years now.
that one was pretty good. I have to watch it again. I've got that one sitting at home. I haven't seen it in years.
Was that
I've been
Cronenberg?
waiting to watch it. It's
Cronenberg?
Cronenberg.
That's what I thought. I haven't seen that in a long time. I think the last time I saw that, I was probably too young to see it too.
Well, there you go. Maybe after I watch it, I should loan it to you.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
I haven't seen the latest one. Or
The latest.
Or the first one. I saw the one with Kurt Russell.
The latest one isn't a remake. I watched it.
Oh, I think you told me that.
It's not as good. It's the prequel.
Like the prequel to it.
It's what led up to what happened with the.
Whereas Kurt Russell and Quaker
Kurt
Oats
Russell.
guy was actually a
Right.
remake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
I know his name. I just like calling him the Quaker
Yeah.
Oats guy. It's Wilford Brimley, but
That was the remake of the 1950s one, which had James Arness played the monster.
now how was that one? Because I haven't seen.
It's
that one.
good. It's good. It's not as good as the newer one is, though. And the newer one is, I've watched it several times, and I watched it, within the past year with my girlfriend and my son. And by the end of the movie, you're still sitting there like, whoa. I mean, it had the effect it was supposed to. It's a good.
Because I haven't willfully watched anything pre-1960 in my life. I have for like I did a movie. I don't even remember what it was called, film studies in college or whatever.
Right.
So we had 2 classes a week. The first night we watched, it was a 3-hour class and then an hour and a half class the next night. The first night we would watch the movie, then the next night we would have to critique it. So I saw like the first and probably only silent movie I will ever watch, Battleship Potemkin. And I don't know how I made it. Because it's like me and subtitles, yeah. I just don't have the patience.
Oh, wow.
But I was taking it for course credit, so I sucked it up. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Until like 1960, it's like anything before that, I just will not watch unless I'm absolutely forced to. And in high school, we did like theater class. We had like Oklahoma and Pirates of Penzance with Michael Douglas. I mean, that was like 70s, but.
Right.
But yeah, so I can't say that I've actually seen something before 1960 that I actually liked.
Well, here's a remake. I didn't put it on my list, but it's The Haunting. Came out about 1960, and
Is that the one with Liam Neeson? Because
I think they remade it with Liam
two
Neeson.
came out the same year. One was The Haunting and one was The House on Haunted Hill.
Right.
They both came out at the same time.
It had what's
Was
his
Catherine
name?
Zeta-Jones in that?
Catherine Zeta-Jones might have been it. Yeah, and it was Luke Wilson. No,
Owen?
Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson was in it. I looked forward to it, and plus I had seen the original, which was great. This one was just like over the top CGI. Too much CGI.
Oh
for
yeah,
me.
yeah. That's how everything is nowadays. Doesn't he look creepy?
Oh yeah,
If you like, do you like horror movies?
I do.
I
Good
have-
ones. I like them if they're well done.
All these remakes I own. So if you want to ever have like a remake horror movie marathon, I'm your guy.
So you found a lot of horror movies. I'm trying to see other Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Haven't seen them.
That got pretty close. 7.8 was the old one, and the new one was 7.4.
When did the old one come out?
I want to say it came out about 1954.
And the other one was in the 70s?
The other one was in the 70s with Donald Sutherland.
Yep,
That one's
okay.
due to be remade again.
Yep. It's sad, but it's true. You know it's going to happen.
Right.
All of the I mean, even some that aren't even classics, they're remaking, It's like, all right, I got one here, which I probably guarantee you haven't seen. I haven't seen the original, but I saw the remake and then the remake of the remake.
Oh, wow.
The Mummy.
The Mummy. Oh,
The remake
yeah.
was with Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz.
Yeah, I didn't like that one.
And then
Too much CGI.
the new remake was Tom Cruise.
Did you see that?
I actually liked it.
Oh.
I liked it better than the ones with Brendan Fraser. I haven't seen the original, which are
With Boris Karloff.
like
As the
how,
Mummy.
how long ago did those come out?
Oh, that was like
40s, 50s, probably.
Yeah, had
I
to
mean,
be.
long
40s.
long time ago.
I liked it. I liked it when I was a kid. I liked all those movies with Bela Lugosi and Boris
That
Karloff.
were all terrible. Have you ever seen Ed Wood?
Ed Wood, yeah.
All right, what did you think? Martin Landau won Best Supporting Actor for playing Bela Lugosi. You think he did a better job in that than Samuel L. Jackson did in Pulp Fiction?
Oh, I don't know. See, that's
Because
pretty tough.
I'm not a Samuel L. Jackson fan, as you know, but I feel like I think Samuel L. Jackson got robbed out of an Oscar that year.
Probably did.
You know, I mean, that to me could have been his Lifetime Achievement Award. Because I mean, I think Landau's a good actor. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
And I thought the performance was really good. But Samuel L. Jackson really dominated his character in Pulp Fiction. You know, I mean, his whole Ezekiel 25:17. You know, it's just he looks like a mean SOB. You know.
Right.
So, but yeah, I haven't seen any of those. But I don't know. I didn't even see the one with Donald Sutherland. To be honest with you, it just didn't seem like. What are they exactly?
The body snatchers?
Yeah.
They find these pods that look like watermelons.
Right. Okay.
And they reproduce people.
Okay, I think I have seen.
And the old one was like a metaphor for like communism. So that was one of the big things. They made a lot of these movies about the Red Scare. And, you know, so I thought that was pretty cool. What about Carrie? Carrie's on my list.
They remade Carrie?
They remade Carrie.
They did?
Yep. The original was 7.4 with Sissy Spacek.
Are you sure it was a remake or was it a sequel?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I think they made it. I think they called it Carrie 2. Because I think I was working at the video store when it came out, and I was like, "Are you guys kidding me?" I was like, "This is like 25 years later."
Right.
You know, maybe I'm wrong. Let me check.
I think they remade it. It got a 5.9, which is just below watchable.
It is. That's like the Mendoza line is 6.0. I'm just gonna hit go.
Let's see.
See what happens.
I'm gonna look and see if I find some other.
Oh, 2013. So I think they did make a Carrie 2, but I didn't realize they did because I think there's a Carrie 2 in like 2001, 2002.
Maybe.
But yeah, no, they did it in 2013. I didn't know that. I wouldn't watch it, but I didn't know they remade it.
So it's just below the watchable.
But as far as
Here's one. Well, I bet this is on your list though. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
They remade Nightmare on Elm Street.
I'm not gonna lie, I liked it better than any of the originals.
Really?
Yep. I was never a Freddy Krueger fan. I don't know what it is. I don't.
I wasn't either. So it's interesting.
I never
And
thought
I'm
he was
just-
scary. And he talks too much. He's a freaking serial killer or whatever. Shut up. You know, Jason doesn't say squat. Michael Myers doesn't say squat. And that's what's scary. When you're running your mouth all the time, it's like, all right, whatever.
Right.
I don't think it's scary. I don't. You know, I mean. But I actually did. I liked it better than any of the originals.
So they remade that. They remade Halloween.
Well, that's what I was going to mention to you about Halloween. Because this Halloween that I just watched was not a remake. This was another of the 115 sequels that Halloween has now.
Oh.
But they redid it. Rob Zombie redid it.
He did the most recent one.
He did the remake, and then he did a 2. And then they started with the sequel. I don't even know what they're doing. Because I swear to God, Jamie Lee Curtis's character died like 4 Halloweens ago. But she was in the last one. So I don't know what's going on. But I did not like Rob Zombie's vision. It was way too over the top.
Uh-huh.
Like, not just too violent, but too much bad language, too much nudity and sex. And it's just, I'm surprised it was rated R.
Now, have you seen other Rob Zombie movies?
Yep. They're all the same.
They're all.
Like Halloween, Halloween 2, House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yep.
What's the other one? They're all the same. It's just his, I don't know, his vision is just, I mean, it's Rob Zombie, so I mean, I guess you kind of know what you're getting in a way.
Right. Yeah. Well, I've never seen any of his movies.
You're not really missing a lot.
Interestingly.
Oh, The Devil's Rejects.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I just don't care for any of his stuff.
Here's another sort of horror one, The Wolfman. Now, the old Wolfman with...
Is that Anthony Hopkins, Benicio del Toro?
Right. Did you see it?
No.
I started to watch it. I don't think I saw the whole thing because of those two actors, I was intrigued by the whole thing.
Well, that's, I think, why I knew that they were in it, because I remember that pairing, and I was like, that seems like a pretty good...
It got a below watchable 5.8. And Lon Chaney Jr., the old one, got 7.4. Which I remember being pretty creepy. I remember really liking the old one. But see, this is hard. You're comparing an old black and white movie, no special
To
effects.
something completely loaded with special effects.
Right.
You know, that's all it is.
And I still want to see The Wolfman with Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just intrigued by
Two
that
Academy
pairing.
Award-winning actors.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Benicio del Toro's got something new coming out that I was surprised to see. I just saw it today. I don't remember what it was. But so Rob Zombie's got House of a Thousand Corpses, The Devil's Reject, Halloween, Halloween 2, The Lords of Salem, 31, 3 from Hell, which is in production right now. And the rest that he's directed are all videos. So he hasn't directed a lot of movies, but the ones, I think I actually have seen all the ones he's done, and they're all...
Over the top.
I think so. I mean...
Which is kind of why I avoided him. I had that sense about it.
When you have movies called House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, I think you're kind of going into it knowing what you're going to get. You know?
Right.
So I guess I had my hopes up a little too high for that. One question, I mean, we've been talking about horror movies, but what about, is Mr. Deeds like a remake of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington? Is that kind of...
No, I think there's
It's
an
not.
actual movie about Mr. Deeds is, oh shoot, I want to say it's Clifton Webb.
But it is a remake, right?
Yeah, it was an old movie. I think they made a series of them, of Mr. Deeds movies. And then, Adam Sandler did that one, which I don't remember being too bad. I remember being all right.
That was like at the end of Adam Sandler being decent. Because then Anger Management started, and then after that, I didn't see Punch Drunk Love, which I think we talked about once.
Right.
So I would like to see that, because that's definitely a different take of something Adam Sandler. Do you own it?
I do.
Yes, I would like to watch it.
And I
'cause
just watched it.
he
so-
doesn't play serious characters very often. It was like when you were telling me about...
Well, you know what it is? It's not, in that movie, he's not playing it for laughs. So he's not goofing.
Right.
He is kind of funny. There are some funny
he's
parts in
kind
that
of
movie.
slow, in it, isn't he? Isn't his character kind of a little like off?
He's almost like he's autistic.
Okay.
Like he almost doesn't understand stuff. I don't know. I think you might like it. It's that Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Emma Watson's the girl.
Right.
It's like the one with Jim Carrey that you keep telling me about that I haven't watched yet. That I want to. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Right.
You know, where Jim Carrey, until then, he hadn't really, I don't think, had done any serious acting. And you have a cold too? I've had a cold for like 6 weeks now. I cannot shake it.
Yeah. So, I mean, those guys. I think they both have done some good stuff when they're not trying to play it for laughs. I think a lot of guys get involved in that, and they try to, you're trying to play stuff for laughs, and I mean, I guess there's something in being silly, but maybe I liked it more when I was younger. Now I laugh at different stuff. But Punch Drunk Love isn't necessarily funny,
Right, it's more of a serious movie, isn't
though
it?
you'll find stuff
Some parts funny,
like,
right? But it's not. You wouldn't look for it in the video store under comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if after you see the movie, and if I say to you, "Hey, what's with the pudding?" and you'll get the kick out of it. You'd be like, "Oh yeah."
Well, I think what's funny is like we have a whole generation, and I didn't realize this, that never knew. Like they look at Tom Hanks like, the Oscar-winning actor that's always playing A-list roles. Like they didn't know about Turner and Hooch and Big and
Right.
Bosom Buddies, stuff like that. He came through comedy and then became a serious actor. A lot of people, that happens with some people.
Michael Keaton.
Was Michael Keaton?
Yeah.
Oh, Michael. I was thinking
remember?
Michael Douglas. Michael Keaton, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Keaton when he was
Yeah,
did
like the Dream Team, Multiplicity. He did a lot of comedy early on. Mr. Mom.
Now you don't see that.
Gung Ho. Yeah, no. I mean, for a while.
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Yep. For a while, you didn't really even see Michael Keaton, and then he came back with Birdman,
He's in Birdman. Yeah.
and
He was in Batman. First two Batman movies.
oh yeah.
He played a bad guy in. Played a bad guy a couple times, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, Michael
So he
Keaton's
definitely
turning
branched
corner.
out from comedy to more serious
Yeah,
roles.
you don't see him doing a lot of comedy anymore. He's not silly anymore.
No. He was good at it when he was, though. I loved Multiplicity and The Dream Team. Two really good movies. I mean, Dream Team just had one of those casts for the ages, though. I mean, Christopher Lloyd, Peter Boyle, Stephen Furst, and Michael Keaton. I mean, imagine how the set was on that. I bet there was a lot of laughing going on.
Oh, that would probably have some good outtakes.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I have that. I'll have to check and see if they have any outtakes. Friday the 13th.
Yeah, they remade that.
2009, and they're due for another one like this year. I think is coming out with a
And it
remake.
wasn't a very good movie to begin with, but it was like that those campy like teen.
Did you see the
slash
remake?
movies. No, I haven't seen any of the remakes. Only the original series.
Not as violent as Rob Zombie, but along the same lines where any chance you get to show a woman's breasts, they do, and it's not needed. I mean, the movie came out on Valentine's Day. You know, it's like that's what me and my girlfriend at the time did. We went out to dinner and then we went and saw Friday the 13th on Valentine's Day. It wasn't a bad movie, but like I said, just the excessive nudity and
Right.
a lot of drug use, alcohol use, which I mean, I guess for the characters they're playing, it's in line, but
And I remember at the time, I mean, when that came out, God, I was probably like in high school or something. And even the violence and stuff that at that time was kind of like, oh my word,
Right.
Because I remember it was, I think, guy was laying on a bunk bed.
and the knife goes through him.
Jason
Yeah. Yep.
puts the knife through him, and I don't know. So I mean, at the time, we were like, oh my word.
You know what? It wasn't Jason.
Right. It was.
Remember, it wasn't Jason in the first one.
Yeah.
But no, I did like it. I liked the remake. I liked it more than most of the sequels because I think they had 8 was Jason Takes Manhattan,
Right.
which is oh my.
I don't know if I ever got through that one.
And then 9 is Jason Goes to Hell, and then they have Jason X where he's in outer space.
I've seen like little pieces of that.
And
on
then they
cable.
have Freddy versus Jason, and then they have this. So there's a lot of Jason movies. There's like 12, I think. And I own them all. I think I own Freddy versus Jason twice because it came with the Friday the 13th series and the Nightmare on Elm Street series. So
Oh wow.
if you want a copy, anybody wants a copy of Freddy versus Jason.
That's one I
I'll
would
hook
love
you
to. I would love to have directed one of the Jason movies. Friday the 13th. I would love to have like
I would
write up a
love,
script and make up a whole new movie for that.
I would love to have done the one in space. Is it like at that point it's like no holds barred. You can go do whatever you want. I mean.
My favorite is number 6, Jason Lives, where Ron Palillo, who played Arnold Horshack in the Welcome Back
Welcome
Kotter,
Back Kotter.
he goes. I think it's him. He goes and he stabs Jason's corpse with a pole, and then the pole gets hit by lightning, and then it brings Jason
I
back to
remember
life.
that one.
That was one of my favorites. So then there's an empty grave there, and the grave digger is back there, and he's trying to fill in the grave, and he looks up at the camera and he goes, "Some people have the strangest ideas of fun." And I had to laugh at that. There's a couple of lines in that movie like that, but Jason gets like superhuman in that movie. Before that, he's like some guy. He's just a killer, but then he becomes a superhuman.
Well, did you see
can't kill him.
Jason Goes to Hell? He changed his bodies. Nobody knows who Jason is. He just keeps changing into different bodies. It's like, you guys have officially run out of ideas when you get to the point where you have to send him to space. It's...
Jason in space.
I think it was Jason X, because it was the 10th one.
Right.
So, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, people still go see him. So they're just going to keep making them.
Right.
I mean,
Well.
I like the idea of Freddy versus Jason. I actually thought that was a decent movie. What else you
I
got?
didn't see it. I don't know. I mean, I could go off of. I mean, we're talking about a lot of.
Yeah, let's not
Horror
do horror
movies.
anymore. Let's go somewhere else.
Well, we're talking about 310 to Yuma.
Yep, haven't seen
Western.
either.
So I didn't see the old one. Now the old one got a 7.6 and the new one got a 7.7. Russell Crowe.
And Christian Bale. My
Yeah.
father saw it. He said it was excellent.
And you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
I've watched it twice.
That's 2 really good
and I
actors.
wasn't sure at the end of the movie what they wanted you to feel at the end of this movie.
Oh, my dad already ruined
the
it for me,
conclusion.
so...
So I'm kind of like, I don't know. I think it's a very interesting movie. I think, and Russell Crowe and Christian Bale, two really, who I think are really great actors.
Yeah.
And really, I mean, 7.7, I'd give it a 7.7 because I could watch that movie again.
I think Russell Crowe is very talented. The issue is when I have with him is a lot of his movies I'm not drawn to. Like, I mean, Man of Steel, I don't know why he was in that. I think it's just because he hasn't done anything in a while, so
Right.
he just wanted to get thrown back out
When's
there.
the last time you've seen Russell Crowe?
Probably Man of Steel.
Didn't he do Noah? He played
He did.
Noah?
I haven't seen it.
I haven't either.
But he did.
He's not drawing us to the movies anymore.
I just saw last night. He was in American Gangster. Hadn't seen that in a while, and that was on TV. That was a good movie.
With Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington,
And
Russell
Russell Crowe.
Crowe, Josh Brolin.
Wow. I
Ridley
forgot
Scott
about
directed
that.
it. It's based on a true story of Frank Lucas, who was having cocaine shipped from Vietnam and soldiers. What are they called?
The Army?
No, and they're
Helicopters? Oh, and their body bags.
yeah.
Yeah.
And Russell Crowe plays the cop that's after him.
Oh, I totally forgotten Russell Crowe was in that movie.
It was supposed to be Benicio del Toro,
Oh.
but it got put off. It was supposed to be the production was supposed to be done in 2004, and it got pushed off to like 2007 or 8. And Benicio del Toro had already committed to something else, so Ridley Scott had to get Russell Crowe.
Interesting.
I think either way, it's a good choice because I think they're both really good actors.
Yeah.
And Denzel's pretty much good in anything.
Here's one that True Grit. True Grit was a remake, right? With John Wayne, and he won the Academy Award for that movie.
You're gonna be really disappointed in me right now. I haven't seen either one.
And you haven't seen the Jeff Bridges one?
Nope.
I have to watch the Jeff Bridges one again. I've seen them both. And the new one actually, Jeff Bridges, did he win the Academy Award for that one?
No. He was nominated, but he didn't. He won for the music one.
For, yeah, I know the one you're talking about. Bad Blake.
What the hell is that called?
Funny how falling feels
I
like
don't know what it's called.
flying
We just talked about
for
it
a
too.
little while. Yep, I've seen. And I've
It's him
seen.
and Gyllenhaal
Yep.
girl, right?
Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yeah, it was real good. I should know that one.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna look it up. So,
But anyway, so True Grit. I mean, basically the new one just got barely
Crazy
like
Heart.
inched it out.
I
Crazy
didn't have
Heart.
to look it up.
There you
It just
go.
came in my head.
We talked about The Fly, Scarface.
Didn't see the what was the original? Like 32.
Oh yeah, it was like in
It was a
1932.
long time ago.
Just a different take. The old one got a 7.8. The new one 8.3. People love that.
We've
new one.
talked about the new one, and I really feel this is true that it's just the cool thing to say how much you like Scarface. Because I really didn't think it was that good of a movie. I really didn't.
I have your copy.
I mean, do you?
Yeah, I borrowed it from you and I watched. So I've watched that one in the past year.
That's over the top.
Yeah,
Al
but you know, I was
Pacino.
thinking about it. Al Pacino it's a tremendous performance
It
from
is.
him.
It
I don't
is.
really like the movie
I don't.
so much. I think there's
But the performance is outstanding.
yeah, some of it's a little
Yeah.
corny. I think that movie's a little bit corny, like you say, over the top.
Yeah.
Al Pacino's pretty much fantastic.
Yeah. Who's it? Robert Loggia and Michelle Pfeiffer. I mean,
Yeah.
Pacino's obviously the star. I mean, from beginning to end. I mean, literally until the end, when we get that mound friggin'
But a 7.8, an 8.3 movie.
that's too high. That's
Wow.
way too high. I mean, we were looking at it a couple weeks ago. Platoon got 8.2. Platoon's better than Scarface.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's any question about that.
I was never really a big fan of the movie itself. And
No.
But I gotta give Al Pacino his props for that movie.
I
It was
honestly
good.
like Dog Day Afternoon better. I thought that was a better Pacino movie for back in the day. You know, I think Dog Day was 75, and that was what 82, something like that, 81.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's another one I haven't seen the 1930s.
Here's one Joey lent me, right? Is Star is Born. This new Star is Born is the fourth, I think it's the fourth incarnation of this movie.
Were they all called A Star Is Born, or were they all called
I
something?
think they are all called A Star is
Because
Born.
you said there could be some that weren't called A Star Is Born, but it's the same story, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah.
So now this one is the highest rated. This new one with Lady Gaga and
Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. That's the highest rated of all of them.
She won an Oscar for Best Original Song for it. That was the only Oscar the movie won. I was kind of surprised. Bradley Cooper
Huh.
wasn't even nominated for Best Director, which I thought was really surprising.
Well, maybe they want him to do something else.
So I had it for 2 months and still haven't watched it. So I gave it to Don so he can watch it. Colin looks bored as hell right now.
I'll probably watch it this weekend.
I think he was sleeping.
The old one, Barbara Streisand and Chris Christopherson, in the 70s,
It's a good
got
cast.
a 6.4. That one got the lowest write-up. Before that, Judy Garland, I think, was in a version of it. And I thought it was Judy Holliday was in one, but I think it's somebody else. So it's 7.6, 7.7, 6.4, and the new one is 7.9.
So the new one got a pretty good rating.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
7.9.
really,
That's,
7.9, that's high.
you're almost in Scarface range.
All right, what about The Departed?
The Departed.
Because
I didn't see the original.
I haven't either. But I believe they're just so high on IMDb that I just...
Both of them are?
Yeah, that I just wanted to bring it up because I was actually, before you got here, KMO and I were talking and I showed him my list. And he said he remembered when it came out, but he never saw it. And I was like, you gotta watch that movie, man. I was like, that was...
The other one, Infernal Affairs, that it's based on, Japanese
Yep.
movie, I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
It's on my list, it's been on my list, and it's just not one that I've come across.
I'm gonna throw out 8.5 at least for The Departed.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's exactly 8.5. That's funny. So that's probably top 25 IMDb. It's Infernal Affairs, right?
You're right, Infernal Affairs.
Right there, 2002. So that Infernal Affairs came out 2002. The Departed came out 2006. 8.1 for Infernal Affairs. So they both got pretty highly rated. And this is, again, it's subtitled, so you're gonna have to watch it and tell me how it is.
I'll have to watch it. Well, I like The Departed. I like, I like Jack Nicholson.
Yep.
I like them all. I like Matt Damon in it,
Mhm.
Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yep. Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen. It's
The female. What's her name? I can't think of it.
I can't even picture who it is.
Vera Farmiga. That was like her really. I think she was in that Running Scared with Paul Walker at about the same time, and that just kind of got her going. Because then a couple years later, she was in Up in the Air with George Clooney, and that was a pretty big movie.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really see her in a ton of stuff.
No.
You know?
I think of some other ones. Here's Here's some that they didn't do as well. I wrote Willy Wonka because originally it was.
Didn't see the remake because it was Johnny Depp. I'm
Really?
anti-Johnny Depp.
Are you?
Don't like Johnny Depp at all. I think the only movie that I liked that Johnny Depp was in was Donnie Brasco.
So you haven't seen any of the Pirates of the Caribbean?
I saw the first one and the second one. The first one I saw, it was when I was working at the video store, and I had to watch it to make sure the DVD played all the way through. And the second one, when I worked at Cafe 7, my boss swore to me that it was better than the first one, so I watched it. I was like, I'm never taking your advice again. I don't like Johnny Depp. I don't know what
No.
it is. Nothing he's in really.
Yeah, well, he did the remake. The remake got 6.7. The original with Gene Wilder,
Wilder.
7.8.
I think everybody's seen the original.
Yeah,
You know, that was I thought it was good. You know,
kind of a weird movie to remake. I mean, but if anybody was going to do it, Tim Burton.
Tim
When you hear
Burton.
Tim Burton's going to do it, you think, well,
if Tim Burton's doing a movie, guess who he's calling first? Johnny Depp.
and Johnny Depp supposedly was channeling Michael Jackson. That was who he was supposed to be like basing his character on. What about Planet of the Apes? Planet of the Apes, the original Planet of the Apes with Charlton Heston, got 8.0. Then they remade it with Mark Wahlberg
right?
and Tim Burton. Tim Burton's on a lot of these remake lists. If you notice, like he did Willy Wonka, Planet of the Apes. There's more. I know there is.
He did a remake without Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Was Johnny Depp in jail?
Johnny Depp in Planet of the Apes. But that one didn't go over real big, and I watched it a few times because I thought, oh, it's got to be better than I thought it was. It's not. There's
What'd they
something
get?
about it. Just it got a 5.7, which is below watchable. Which
Well,
is
they're
basically-
still making them. They just-
then they came up with a whole new series of them. Doesn't even involve what's his name? I forgot his name, we were just talking about the guy.
Tim Burton?
Tim Burton.
Oh, yeah.
So the new series, the new one got 7.6. So they've kind of resurrected it. Though I wasn't as high on that last version. They just made 3 of them. They made a trilogy. And somehow the last one didn't live up, didn't do it for me.
What about Ocean's 11?
Ocean's 11, yeah. The original got 6.6 and the new one's 7.8.
I might have given the original a little higher than 6.6, but 7.8 for the remake, I feel that's pretty good. I definitely like the remake better.
It was pretty exciting, yeah.
It was very entertaining. I saw that in the movie theater, actually, one of my best friend's birthdays. We went and saw it. Great cast.
Yeah, that was on the good remake list.
Yeah. I mean, even Ocean's 12 I thought wasn't bad, but then Ocean's 13, that was terrible.
They were basically stretching it.
Yeah, and then they just did a new one with Sandra Bullock and Anne Hathaway and Rihanna, Ocean's 8.
Yeah, I don't remember that didn't get anything. That didn't drive me to want to go see the movie.
It opened as the highest Ocean's movie ever,
Oh,
which surprised me. I haven't seen it yet either, but that reminds me of something I was going to ask you. Did you see the remake of Ghostbusters?
no.
No.
I avoided it. See, if it got bad write-ups, I avoided it. But you know what? I read an article about this recently. That movie and the new Captain Marvel, that there were these internet campaigns for sites like this, like IMDb, like we use for ratings, where people went on and they deliberately tanked these movies.
Really?
So Ghostbusters, the new Ghostbusters with the women, and Captain Marvel, there were campaigns to deliberately tank these movies on Rotten Tomatoes and stuff like that, so that when we looked at people like me, look at the write-ups, and then I go, well, heck, I don't want to go. It's only rated a 5.5.
Right.
Somebody deliberately tanked it, so that anyway. Good. Maybe the new Ghostbusters is better than I think it is.
I watched Ghostbusters 2 when I was a kid, and that was enough. I was like, I wasn't even a big fan of the original. It wasn't bad, but it's like, I don't know. It just didn't really do it for me. It has a good cast. It's just not, I don't know what to make of it. Is it a comedy? Is it science fiction?
I think it's both.
Action? I mean, it's
Ivan Reitman, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, I think that he balances that. He likes to kind of balance on the edge with that stuff and kind of make it's funny, it's not funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen the original.
Yeah,
too.
I haven't. I saw the original in the theater.
And
too.
I don't remember being like really a huge fan of it when it came out either.
Me
It was
neither.
kind of like, okay, it was like a big, summer blockbuster movie type of thing.
Right. All right. Another movie you can never remake. E.T.
E.T.
You can't remake E.T. You just can't, right? Am I right, Colin? You can't remake E.T. I mean, E.T.'s got to be dead by now anyway.
Right.
I bet they do it within the next decade.
You think
Think
so?
so?
Yeah.
What was E.T.? E.T. was 82. So it's been 37 years. They're bound.
Could they do it better though? You're right though. Could they do it better?
Well, does anyone actually have the stones to freaking remake a Steven Spielberg movie?
I don't know.
Because that's pretty.
That's gonna be gonna be some subject for some of our
Yep.
for next week.
Because I mean, Spielberg's done a lot of classics, and I don't know who's brave enough to take on one of Spielberg movies and try to make it better. Because I mean, could you imagine someone having the audacity to remake Saving Private Ryan?
Right.
That's
What about a bad Spielberg movie? I can't think of a bad one. What about like an early one? Didn't he do a movie called Drive? Isn't that one of the ones he did prior to Jaws?
oh, I don't know.
Somebody could potentially redo that.
I mean, a lot of people didn't like The Terminal. I did. I thought it was fun, but he did get bashed over that.
it's a good point though. It's hard to think of a real bomb by him that you could remake. Here's a movie you and I have already talked about this in the past as a remake. Red Dawn.
Yep.
The original got a 6.4, the new one got a 5.4, which is below the Mendoza line, below the watchable. And I would argue they gave the old one a 6.4, which is just over the Mendoza line. I think it's better than
I do too.
watchable.
I saw the remake too, and I think they're both watchable.
So they're good.
Mm-hmm.
So that would take that over a 6.
Oh yeah.
The new one.
Yeah. Yeah, I put the original at like a 7. I mean, that's a movie I've seen recently that I really like. I've seen the sequel or the remake relatively recently, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. It had a good cast. One thing I did want to ask you about: have you heard of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? You got to hear about this. Here, let me check Spielberg real quick. I don't know how much time we got, but I wanted to talk about this in another movie that has nothing to do with remakes. But all right,
Here's a remake that tanked badly. Arthur. The old one with Dudley Moore, 6.9. The new one.
I haven't seen the one with Russell Brand, because how can you have Russell Brand play a character that Dudley Moore played? Dudley Moore is Arthur. That's plain and simple. He's Arthur.
Right.
He nailed Arthur, It's yeah, it's hard. I don't really see anything that he really tanked on here.
No.
How was Amistad? Have you seen that?
Amistad was good, yeah.
What about Hook? Somebody
Oh.
might redo Hook.
That's-
I remember watching Hook when I was a kid, and that movie was terrible.
And that was Spielberg?
That was Spielberg.
Oh.
Yep. Apparently he's got a new Indiana Jones project coming, so
Wow. With Harrison Ford?
I don't. God, Harrison. Didn't they finally kill him off in
They killed him?
Star Wars? Finally, look, you're fucking. Sorry, you're dead. You're too old to be in this, but the other people are still in them, I think. All right, Once Upon a Time in America. You are going to be impressed with this cast. Or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I mean. It's Quentin Tarantino's ninth and possibly last movie.
Is it new?
It's coming out this summer.
Oh.
I mean,
I don't know. I thought I gave up on Tarantino.
I don't know. Wait till you hear this cast.
After I saw The Hateful Eight, I was kind of like, all right, enough. I can't do this anymore.
A faded television actor and his stunt double strive to achieve fame and success in the film industry during the final years of Hollywood's golden age in 1969 Los Angeles. The actor is Leonardo DiCaprio. His stunt double is Brad Pitt.
Oh, wow.
Margot Robbie plays Sharon Tate. They're next door neighbors to Sharon Tate when she gets murdered by Manson and his clan. So Luke Perry, who just passed, was in it. Kurt Russell, Dakota Fanning, Timothy Olyphant, Al Pacino, Damian Lewis, Tim Roth. I mean, it's got a heavyweight cast. It's coming out this summer, and it does sound like it might be Tarantino's last movie. It comes out July 26th. So
you think he's going to retire after this
he
one?
said he was only going to make 10 movies,
Oh.
and this is number 9. So I don't know if he really just isn't going to do another one, or if he's just, I don't know. But I want to see it because that sounds like a really intriguing cast, and the storyline, in line with that time period.
Maybe we got to do a Tarantino show and talk about Tarantino.
In my opinion, he started off on fire. I mean, his first two movies are 2 of my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
Right, okay. I can see it.
So yeah, we can we'll definitely do that. But the other one, Us, just came out this past weekend. It's Jordan Peele's follow-up to Get Out.
I just watched the trailer.
Made $70 million in its opening weekend, when Get Out made 33 in its opening weekend. So it looks like it's probably going to have a pretty good run. It looks scary. It looks good. I've seen the previews.
It did look scary.
But I wasn't impressed with Get Out. I was one of the very few people that didn't think it was as good as everybody else thought.
I thought it was okay.
I mean, you're talking nominated for Best Picture.
Right.
I didn't see it.
That was what I was talking about on our Academy Awards show too. Is that I think they've gone over the edge to try to be politically
Trying to force
correct.
stuff in there. Yeah.
And I think it was okay. I think it was an all right movie. Maybe I would have liked it better if I'd have seen it before the hype.
Right,
after
exactly.
everybody else has seen it and raved about it.
Well, that's not to get off topic, but we do anyway. That's why I was wondering if that's the case with Moonlight, because La La Land was hands down winning everything. All the awards shows and everything. It won Best Picture, and
Did you see La La Land? No. Oh, I was just gonna say.
no, I'm not.
Well, I don't want to be like ruining, but it doesn't have a happy end.
Oh no, that's fine.
And I think if it had a happy end, maybe it would have won Best Picture.
Well, Moonlight was one of those movies where, I don't know, none of it was really happy. I don't know, it was
No.
good. I liked it.
It was good, exactly.
Yeah,
It
but-
was good, but you didn't walk out of the movie theater and get you're blown away.
Right, exactly. I mean, I actually watched it after it had won Best Picture because initially I thought it was like a really, really violent movie when I had read the reviews and stuff. And it's not really. I mean,
No,
there's
it's
the
not
one
particularly
scene when he's in school, but other than that, it's not very violent.
Right.
Not
Not a very happy year for movies because the
No, it
other one
wasn't.
that came out was it was the one that I liked about the guy whose kids get killed in the fire. He won the Academy Award too.
Kids get killed in fire.
Shoot. What's his name?
Ben Kingsley,
No, not Ben Kingsley.
Ben Foster,
Uh,
Ben Stiller,
no, the guy you like.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck. Casey Affleck.
Oh, Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah,
Oh,
I liked Manchester by
yeah,
the
that
Sea, but
wasn't-
again, it's another really
Yeah.
sad
Yeah.
downer of a movie. So you had Moonlight, which was
Moonlight.
not particularly uplifting.
No.
You had La La Land, which was pretty good and uplifting, but didn't have a happy end.
Right.
And then
And Manchester by the
Manchester
Sea.
by the Sea.
Nothing in that movie was really happy. I don't feel. I mean, Casey Affleck. I'm glad he won Best Actor because he deserved it. I thought he did a really good job, and he is a very talented actor. Actually, he in Good Will Hunting. I don't know how recently you've seen that or not,
no,
but he's really good in that. He's annoying. He's the annoying little brother that doesn't know when to shut his mouth, but he's good. He's effective. They all fit together. All four of the
I've
buddies.
kind of become a fan of his now, of Casey
Yeah,
Affleck.
Me too. I mean, I think you borrowed the one where he's a private eye from me. Morgan Freeman, Michelle Monaghan, Ed Harris, Ben
Yeah,
Affleck.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
Ben Affleck's directorial debut. Did you watch it?
I did.
And it was pretty good, wasn't it?
It is good. Yeah, I had seen it the first time, and I
Oh,
remember-
you'd already seen
Yeah,
it.
because I
Okay.
remembered there was a twist at the end
Yeah.
for that.
Yep.
So I kind of was expecting that. But yeah, you're right. Casey Affleck. I've gotten so I really like his movies.
It was.
He
It's
has
kind of disappointing the end of that. Because you're like, they're busting their asses to try to find this kid for the mom, then to find out mom doesn't care anyway.
right.
So, I mean, it's. Sorry if I ruined that for anybody, but it's pretty old.
Dennis Lehane, right? That's a
Yep.
based
Gone
on Dennis
Baby
Lehane.
Gone.
Yep.
That's what it was. That's a really good movie.
Thanks.
Lehane did Mystic River
Yeah.
too.
I have one of his books at home. Any Given Day.
Dennis Lehane.
Yep.
Is it good?
Maybe I should read it and read it next. I just finished a book, so I got to start a new one.
Gone Baby Gone got 7.7. I'd agree with that.
It was very good. Yeah.
It was a good movie. It was definitely a good movie.
I was drawn into it. I'm looking at some of these. Like some of these were movies that were made when I was a kid, but here's one we've talked about: Cape Fear.
Yep.
The original,
Gregory Peck was the original. De Niro played the.
right? The original was 7.8. The newer one's 7.3. Both. I mean, that's
Pretty good ratings.
pretty good ratings for both of them. I didn't like the newer one as much. I felt like it was a little bit over the top, and I don't know.
The newer one had a good cast though. I mean, you got De Niro, Nick Nolte,
Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange, and Juliette Lewis.
I know it's a pretty well liked movie. Maybe I got to watch it again, and maybe like Scarface. Maybe I'll have a better appreciation for Robert De Niro in that movie. But I just kind of felt like the Robert Mitchum in the original had this unspoken thing that was kind of going on, this unspoken menace that I think really made it. And to take the menace kind of over the top.
Yeah, De Niro was definitely over the top. Excuse me, in the remake.
Yeah. Footloose. Footloose was remade.
Oh, I forgot about Footloose. I haven't seen the remake.
I haven't either.
The original's a classic though.
The original got 6.5,
That surprises me. I would have thought it would have been a little higher.
and the new one 5.9. So basically, they were able to replicate a little bit. Karate Kid, the original, Ralph Macchio, 7.2. The new one with Jaden Smith, 6.2.
Yeah,
Didn't see it.
I
I
haven't
didn't see
seen
the
it.
new one.
Don't plan on seeing it.
The Stepford Wives was remade
Haven't
with
seen
Nicole
either.
Kidman.
Right. Matthew Broderick. Is that right?
Is that who it is?
I think so.
The old one was 6.9. The new one 5.3.
Ooh, definitely unwatchable.
Yeah, it's in the unwatchable zone. Here's
What
a
about-
weird one. The Pink Panther.
I
Right?
saw one of them in the theater.
Right now, the
Yeah.
old one with Oh, man. Peter Sellers.
Peter Sellers. Yep, and the new ones with Steve Martin.
7.2. Steve Martin one, 5.6.
Wow.
Boy,
I would say I like the originals a lot better. We are closing up
Oh,
this week, so I don't know. We'll maybe do names from our hat, or we'll do something. We're back every week now, so
we'll be back next week.
I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Trutler.
See you at the movies.